So one of the reasons I really wanted to interview you is because I've always admired you in that you have, well, it's actually you love Tanya, and in today's Tanya,
I
it
love
says
Tanya.
that the body is the garment of the soul.
Garment of the soul.
And I always, whenever I see you, you're dressed beautifully in beautiful clothes, beautiful garments, and you seem like to me that you take care of yourself very well. And at the same time, you live a very spiritual life in all the things you're sharing. You teach classes, you bring people into your home. You're the Rebbetzin of a community. And how do you not get lost in the physical and maintain that being inspired by the spiritual and tapping into that?
I don't want to sound vain, and I don't want to sound that I take things for granted, but I don't need a lot of time to get myself together. I just don't. So if my husband will call me and I am in Publix market and he says, we have to go out for dinner, how much time do you need? Is 10 minutes enough? That means I have to get home and change. I can do it in 10 minutes. I can do it. I watch my mother do it. I can do it. It's not hard for me. Does that mean that I don't love beautiful clothing? And does that mean that I don't enjoy going shopping? I do. But I'm not a person that I have to have my manicure, but I'm not a person who needs her massage, and I must have a massage. It's very important in my life. But I tell the women that I relate to, that I speak to, that if this is something you need, then go ahead and have a massage. And if you need a manicure and a pedicure and a facial to make you feel beautiful and good about yourself, then go ahead and do it. Take care of yourself. The area in which I need to be a little bit more proficient is my physical activity, because although I run around a lot, I don't have a regiment of exercise, which is something that I need, and I encourage all the women to do so, because unfortunately I have osteoporosis and I haven't taken care of it, and it's simply because I just didn't put enough time and importance to it. It's still something that I say that this is my next major. Like I had a watershed moment that I have to teach Tanya.
Yeah.
This is going to be my new watershed moment. I have accepted upon myself that at this point in my life, my doctor told me it's never too late, and so I will do that. But I think it is important that a woman look as beautiful as she could look. The Rebbe told us that. The Rebbe wanted that the women should wear beautiful wigs so they feel good about it, and that they will actually enjoy wearing a wig, and that it doesn't look like the wigs of yesteryear where they were so dowdy and nobody wanted to be caught dead in a shaitel. I used to wear a full shaitel, a full wig, and I would wear a hat on top of my wig, because in Miami, where it's very humid and sometimes extremely windy, I found it difficult going to Shul. I have a long walk, and the wig would look like a mess. And when I put on my hat, I didn't have to look at myself in the mirror from the time that I got dressed until I would take it off. And I had gone to 770. The Rebbe saw me in a hat. So it's not like I was doing something that I didn't think the Rebbe would approve of. But as time wore on and I started to read more and understand that if I'm going to always wear a hat, and I want to go back up a little, and I want to tell you something important about that. When we first started, and I was wearing a hat with a short shaitel, like a hat on top of a short shaitel. And I remember I walked we were at a what kind of color store it was? It was a shoe store. That was where our shul started, on Harding Avenue, in a shoe store. So we took the shoe store, we turned it into a shul, and there was a little office at the side. My husband was in the office, and I came in to ask him a question. And I walked in, and there was a young couple there. They were about to become engaged, but she had issues with modesty, and she had a lot of issues about becoming involved. He was way ahead of her in spirituality and in doing mitzvahs, and she was uncomfortable with the whole thing. Very, very modern, liberated woman, young, beautiful girl with long blonde hair. And I walked in, just happened to walk in. They were sitting there, and she says to my husband, "Who's that?" So he says, "Oh, that's my wife." She goes, "That's a Rebbetzin?" And she goes, I can do that. I can do that. I can actually put on a beautiful hat, and I'll be fine with that. So the Rebbe understood that if you are in a community where you're going to be interacting with different types of people, then you if we're representing royalty, and we are royalty, are we not? We're daughters of Hashem, sons of Hashem. The Rebbe was very meticulous. The Rebbetzin was always meticulous, very well-groomed, very articulate, very elegant. Why? Because if you're representing royalty, then you dress that way. That doesn't mean you have to wear the very expensive designer clothing, but you always have to be put together and you have to feel good about yourself. So you have that self-confidence to go out there and have an effect on others. But if you're dowdy and what is the word that she used? Frumpy. I always thought Rebbetzins had to look very frumpy, and I don't want to be that. And so I think it's important, and I feel good when I'm dressed properly. My kids make fun of me at home. Come to my house at any given time, and I look like I look right now. And that's it. I may not be wearing boots. Sometimes I walk around like this all day long. So I get dressed in the morning, and
the body's the garment of the soul. But you have this amazing balance of your essence shining through.
But I want to tell you, I don't think I don't like shopping. I do. Less now because the Longmans is closed. But that was my favorite store.
Yeah. But what was your point about the hat?
Well, why don't I wear a hat over a sheitel anymore?
Yeah.
I do when it's raining. Otherwise, I'll just wear the wig. It's so much more comfortable to just put the hat on top, and you don't have to worry about the hairline and that everything is just right. But I mean, the Rebbe encouraged wearing a hat, and I gave a class on hair covering, which I must have spent a minimum of 10 hours preparing. And there were about 150 women in the room of all walks of life. And it was very challenging for me, very, very challenging for me. But I knew it was important because there were so many women that are ready, but they want to really know the real reason for it, some of the Kabbalistics behind it. And it is too long to talk about it here, but when I pointed out one particular woman and I asked her to come up to the front, and I said to her, look at this magnificent woman. She's dressed beautifully, and she's wearing a full wig, and look at how magnificent she looks. And she's not looking to be attracting to anyone. And there's a big difference between being attractive and attracting. And a woman, when she gets dressed in the morning, should ask herself that question. We present ourselves by how we dress. You wear different garments when you're going to office building, different garments when you're going to a party, to a wedding, different garments, right? When you get dressed in the morning, every woman should ask herself this question. How am I being presented to the outside world? What message am I giving them? So if it's a message, I want to be attractive, then that's great. And be as attractive as you can be. But if it's about being attracting, then you know you're not doing the right thing.